You are the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House.
Israel's lucky to have him.
In Washington, it was all backslaps and celebratory remarks.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Trump hailing a historic peace plan for Gaza, Netanyahu calling him Israel's greatest ally. They were full of praise for each other and for the ceasefire plan.
This is a big, big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization.
A deal that would end the war in Gaza, free Israeli hostages, and put Trump in charge of something he calls the Board of Peace, which would see him personally oversee Gaza's reconstruction.
I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job.
But what is there to celebrate?
The plan offers the Palestinians a choice between either a colonial apartheid occupation at best or the continuation and the completion of the genocide at worst.
The deal stripped Palestinians of power over their weapons, over their government, and even over their own leaders, with no equivalent limits on Israel, whose forces would remain in place until those conditions are met. And while Trump promises a new chapter of peace, Netanyahu makes it clear, if Palestinians don't agree to these terms, the war goes on.
If Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, then Israel will finish the job.
They will pay in hell if they don't sign.
Here's a quick look at what's inside the 20-point plan and what it actually means. Within 72 hours of the deal being accepted, all Israeli hostages, alive and dead, would be returned. In exchange, Israel would release Palestinian prisoners. Aid would begin flowing immediately, and Israel's forces would withdraw, but only in stages, tied to milestones like the decommissioning of Hamas's weapons. Now, to cut through what that actually means, I spoke to Nima Soltani, a Palestinian author and a reader in public law.
To ask the Palestinians now to demilitarize, while on the other hand, the Israeli state and Israeli ruling elites who are accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity in the International Criminal Court, they are not asked to demilitarize. Again, this shows how lopsided, how one-sided, how unfair, and how this agreement flouts the requirements of international law.
The plan outlines that Gaza would be run by a temporary technocratic committee, supervised by an international body, the so-called Board of Peace, chaired personally by Donald Trump, with Tony Blair among its members. Crucially, Palestinians themselves are largely excluded from running this administration. Instead, key positions are to be held by Egyptians and Israeli officials.
Clearly, when you have a supervisory board that is called the Board of Peace, but in fact it's a board of control. It's an attempt to control the Palestinians by preventing them from changing the status quo.
So for Palestinians, the fine print reads more like surrender terms. Hamas and other factions banned from politics, foreign forces deployed inside Gaza, Palestinians vetted before they can even join the police, and splitting Gaza from the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. And the plan also places strict conditions on the Palestinian Authority. Netanyahu has highlighted reforms, including stopping incitement in the media and ending lawfare against Israel at the ICC and ICJ. One tweet pointed out that this means Palestinians can't criticize Israel in the media or hold them accountable under international law. And even with all those conditions piled onto Palestinians, Netanyahu has already watered down key promises.
זה גם לא כתוב בהסכם, אבל דבר אחד כן אמרנו, שאנחנו נתנגד בתוקף למדינה פלסטינית.
He also has made it so clear that Israel's military isn't going anywhere.
צה"ל נשאר ברוב הרצועה.
So while Trump promises a new chapter of peace, Netanyahu's red lines suggest something else. And inside of Israel, there's doubt the plan will even be implemented because many don't trust Netanyahu not to break it to keep himself in power.
אנחנו מלאים בתקווה, אבל גם בהמון חששות, כי אנחנו מכירים את נתניהו ויודעים שהוא יעשה הכל לטרפד את ההסכם הזה גם.
And so we have applause in Washington, doubts in Tel Aviv, and in Gaza, a future still dependent on whether Hamas signs a deal that asks them to give up everything, for a peace that many fear is slipping even further away.